Hi, welcome to CNY Woman Knits and Crochets. I'm Mindy, your hostess, otherwise known as Knitter CNY on Ravelry and Instagram. I thought I'd come on today and do a quick podcast before I do a live, so that if you're watching the live and you want to find out what I'm working on, you've got some place to go and look. And it's been 2 weeks since I've done a podcast, so I thought I would show you what I'm working on. I've got 2 things that are finished and a whole bunch of stuff that's in process. So the first thing I got done is this blanket. It's a baby blanket that's 36 inches square. It is out of Lion Brand Mandala Ombre, and it is the color Happy. And I just did I think I used a size I hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter, which is the size I believe that the yarn recommends. So that's why I used that size. I did not turn my granny square or anything. I just continuously went around. So that's why the colors sort of flow and there's no weird line, because it's a color changing yarn. So that is one that is done. Another blanket that I finished is this one, and this is just a double crochet blanket out of Bernat blanket. I forgot what color it is. No, I'm sorry, I know exactly what this is because I've worked on it so much on the lives. This is out of Lion Brand Cover Story in the color Remy, R-E-M-I, and it's called the Tybee blanket, T-Y-B-E-E, and it is all double crochet, and it came out kind of odd dimensions, but it'll be all right for a grade school kid. I crochet blankets for Project Linus, which is a nationwide charity that gives blankets to children. Generally ours are given out in the hospital and our child advocacy center and a couple other places around the Syracuse area. For those of you who don't know, the CNY in my name is for Central New York, and that is the Syracuse, New York area right in the middle of New York State. So there is a knit part of my name. It's CNY Woman Knits and Crochets. And you see a lot of crochet because I do crochet blankets usually. And I decided to knit a blanket. So the yarns that I'm using are, for this one, are Karen's Spice Cakes. And that's sort of a gray colorway. This color is called Silver Gray, and then I have part of another skein that I'm using, so you'll have to pardon me on that. The other skein I have is Mandala Impressions, which is a Lion Brand yarn. That's a number 5. This is a number 6, and I'm using size 19 needles, and I'm doing the Cushy Garter blanket from Yarnspirations, which originally calls for 2 strands of blanket yarn held together, and I started out with 2 strands of Spice Cakes together, hence the gray, and then I switched to 1 strand of Spice Cakes and 1 strand of Mandala Impressions, and you can see the pretty colors that I'm getting there. The size 19 knitting needles are circular to accommodate the number of stitches. I did not cast on 60 because I don't tension my yarn and I have to go down a size or decrease the number of stitches in order to get the right size. So instead of casting on 60, which the pattern calls for, and then knitting every row until you run out of yarn, I cast on 52. And these size 19 needles, for those in the UK or other parts of the world, are 15 millimeters across. And it's really easy to do this blanket, really easy to show on camera too. So I'm going to do a couple little steps on this and actually finish this row, because if I want to show it on camera, I'd like to be able to finish the row. So you're going to bear with me for a second while I finish this row. And it goes super fast, like I said, because it's size 19 needles. And the colors are really pretty. I'm almost getting like a water lily, like a Monet kind of effect, because the colors are not solid. They're sort of translucent and have some white bits in them. It's kind of a washed effect, I guess you could call it. So it looks like Monet's water lilies. So this is a good, easy pattern for a beginner. And the Lion brand needles, even though they recommend a 36-inch needle, I don't know how big the Lion brand needles are. They might be a 32 or they might be a 36. I can't remember which, but the Lion brand needles will accommodate your stitches, and they're relatively inexpensive, and they're plastic. So they're very light. They're hollow needles. So it might be a good choice for a beginner to get these needles and try this with super chunky yarn. They use 5 balls of Bernat blanket. So if you got a deal, you could make a pretty good blanket, or you could use, you know, other yarn you've got around the house that's super bulky weight. You could probably use Hometown, but the Lion brand, but this yarn is really affordable. So now you can see the full effect of that blanket. It looks really nice. I have 2 skeins of the impressions, and then I have 4 skeins of the spice cakes. So I may end up with a longer section. I may do a section of gray in the middle to kind of break it up and make it a 5-section blanket. So we'll see how that goes. The next blanket I have is a blanket that I started out of yarn that I got from Walmart. It is a pattern by Play Hooky With Me, and it is a half double V-stitch blanket. I don't know how well you can see those V-stitches there, but it's a half double V-stitch blanket. And I'm using a size O hook, which is a 12 millimeter hook, which is what the tutorial calls for. It's a YouTube tutorial, really easy. I'm using 1 skein at a time. I'll probably make this a 4 skein blanket. And it looks kind of weird. Looks almost like it's decreasing, but it's not. So I'll have to check that out. I think maybe there's something going on with that row. I might have to take out that row. That color is called Plum Chutney, and right now Walmart is running a special on the Plum Chutney for $23.99 for a 4-pack. So you can check that out at your convenience. Sorry, I had to bend over to pick something up. Then the next blanket I have is also a YouTube tutorial. It's from Pretty Peaceful. It is called the Grateful Blanket, and it uses Karen Colorama Halo and a size 6.0 millimeter hook. I'm going to show you the bottom of the blanket right here. It goes from a dark pink to a lighter pink to a lavender color. You can kind of see there the difference between them. And I have this much left out of a huge cake that is over 1,000 yards. And this is a 5 bulky weight because of the halo. Like I said, I used a 6.0 millimeter hook, which is a US size J. I use Prim ergonomic hooks primarily. I also use boy hooks as well. And then the next blanket I have is a ripple blanket. It's crochet, single crochet in the back loop, and it is using a size L hook, which is an 8 millimeter hook. With the back loop, you get that ridge, that nice defined ridge from the front loop showing. And you can see that. It looks really nice. The yarn is Bernat Baby Blanket in the color Chicks and Bunnies, which was like an Easter sort of colorway in my mind. So I started this during Holy Week and haven't worked on it this week very much because I've been working on the pink blanket that I was talking about previously. And then another blanket that I've been working on during lives is the corner to corner blanket. And this is out of Big Twist Vortex in the Neon Rainforest colorway, which looks like this. This was a Joann's yarn. I don't know if Hirschner's is going to have this when they get going, but it would be nice if they did. If you don't have Big Twist Vortex and you wanted to make this blanket, I would suggest using this yarn, which is Red Heart Roll With It Melange. It's a roving yarn, so it's kind of similar, other than this Vortex is plied, and you could totally use this. They're both 4s, but the Vortex recommends a size K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter hook. I use an ergonomic boy hook, as you can see right here, which has the rubber handle on it. Those are available through Walmart and I believe through Amazon as well. So you can check that out at your convenience. That's all that I've got going, and it's quite a lot. I've been doing lives pretty much every day of the week. I do pop-up lives, so you can catch them when you can catch them, and hopefully you find them entertaining. And I hope that you guys have a great week, and that you go ahead and knit or crochet something.